What up, y'all? Still in my car. It's the same fucking day. But, I don't know, I've just been thinking a lot about, success. Success in general. And like I mentioned in my other video, you know, some self-made millionaire, he was talking about how, reading more books, surrounding yourself with more successful people, and traveling. I believe that what it is. It's like, okay, the people you know, the places you've been, and the books you've read determine you as a person. Now, I don't believe it's a coincidence. Like, you have all these rappers in Atlanta and, California. And actually, I just remember coming up, like, say, like in the 90s and 2000s, you had like a, I don't know, it's like a conglomerate of people in Virginia that were very successful and still are successful, like Trey Songz, Chris Brown, Timbaland, Missy. Then you have, of course, Atlanta, Future, and, Migos, tons of rappers, right? But they surround themselves with other successful people because Future is really a pupil from Outkast and the Dungeon family. So they're like, he's like a seed from the Dungeon family. And then on the West Coast, of course, you got like Snoop, Dre, Corrupt, and all these other successful West Coast rappers, Pac, but they congregated amongst each other. Like, they constantly surrounded themselves with other like-minded people, so they all eventually became successful. Then I was looking at my life like, who am I surrounded by that's successful or trying to be successful or at least have some type of inkling of a thought not to be regular, not to be, your typical person and go out and just get a check and fuck off on the weekends and, spend your check, or just continue to pay bills and live check to check. So I was kind of looking at this as an opportunity to, I don't know, just basically reevaluate my life and who I surround myself with, and what books I read for success, And, I'm a huge fan of Charlemagne the God. I was following him years ago, way before Breakfast Club became, super huge. And he would always mention different books he would read and eventually, certain guests they would have on the show, they have read those same books. And these are successful celebrities that he's interviewing that read those same books. And even Jim Carrey, for instance, he wrote a check to himself way before he was famous for $1 million. And eventually, no, actually it was for $10 million. But eventually, after years, he said he kind of described the check as being withered. It was in his wallet for, I don't know, years. And eventually, he was able to cash that check or deposit that check. And it's a bank account. So I guess it kind of goes into that, law of attraction thing and your whole, how you are, how you think, how you perceive things dictates your reality. And honestly, it's like, I'm so tired of this goofy ass shit, this being working for corporations and shit like that. And currently, just like I mentioned before, as far as reading books, so I got this Unlock the Hidden Job Market, and basically how you can create jobs within companies, jobs that they may not even be aware of that they need. Well, they may be aware of it, but don't know how to take the right approach to get that job created. And by you knowing your skill set and you knowing your qualities and what you can give to a company, you can actually create a job or even create a business for yourself to supply that company. And I just realized I just really need to advance, my way of looking at things, just kind of improve myself. So I'm looking at all these different, this is databases demystified, really just explaining SQL and Oracle and Access and shit like that. And I was really thinking to myself, like, okay, I've been into IT for years now. The only reason I even got involved in IT is because in 2001, I just remember wanting to get some money. I just wanted to get some money. I was just like, okay, let me go ahead and look through the occupational handbook. And so I just looked at a bunch of different occupations, and I saw that IT was like an average of $60,000 to $70,000 a year. So I was like, hey, I guess that's what I'll do. I was already typing 45 to 50 words per minute in middle school. So I was like, I get involved in it. It was really just for the money. It wasn't a passion. And so now I'm looking at myself. I'm just like, okay, I'm really doing the same shit again. I really don't want to be one of those people that's like 50 or 60 years old, just stuck in some job just for the money and not happy, not, don't without any passion, and just putting passion towards other people's dreams and accomplishments and making money for other people. It seems so mediocre and so fucking unfulfilling. Just to, even at this restaurant I work now, I'm thankful for this job, but they really be having discussions about, how much money the company made today. And these are not even the managers, like even just like the clerk, not the clerk, but the cooks and stuff. They be so passionate, which is great. That's great for them. I try not to discourage them or hate on them or, be negative towards them. But I just be thinking to myself like, don't you want more, man? Don't you really don't you have goals and dreams you want to accomplish? And I just got off the phone with my mom, and she was like, I said, I'm the people I work with, I'm not surrounded by, successful people. I'm not surrounded by people who think big or dream big. And she was like, basically, that's not left up to me to determine, what God is doing in their lives or whatever they're going through their lives. That's up to them. I try to encourage, but the amount of years I've been on this earth, I realize like sometimes you really can't change people's perspectives, their perception. Just like I mentioned about that quote, the people, places, and the books you've read, if they never read any uplifting, self-improving books, they've always surrounded by the same niggas in the hood or the same. It ain't even got to be niggas. It could just be people in general that ain't shit. That's their mentality. They don't know anything else. So I guess the only really thing you can do is just lead by example.